All right, and we are live at the very first ever foul back into the stands.
Feels good.
Yeah,
Man. Baseball brunch, right?
Yeah, pretty much, man. Like that's the idea. That's the concept. Ironically, my name is Mike Powers. I'm the host of the Divide Live, which is never live, but
Right.
foul back into the stands. That's kind of like our commitment. We want to be live in front of the fans, in the crowd.
Give
Right?
the people a voice, essentially.
Yeah. My name is Mike Powers, as I just said. Right next to me is the Sheffield Shuffler, a.k.a. Pete, a.k.a. Carl Schwarber,
That's me.
a.k.a.
Big
Mr.
Daddy Diesel.
Social, the Philly Takeover, as I like to call him. Like, he came over from Chicago, took over Philadelphia. He's all around beautiful man.
Get out of my way.
And we are live at PJ Whelihan's.
Wellingham's.
How do you say it?
Wellingham's.
Wellingham's.
Yes, right. I don't know. I'm not Irish. Is it
Yeah.
Irish?
I don't know. I'm not. I look Irish. I'm not Irish. I have a few that.
Skin tone don't lie, Mike.
Yeah, it's somebody from my family hooked up with an Irish man,
Yeah.
for sure, or a woman. I don't know.
You don't get that translucent skin for nothing.
Yeah, dude, and you literally wear your emotions on your face. Like,
right.
The minute an ounce of alcohol hits, I have like rosacea. The second sunburn, it's a mess. If I'm embarrassed, it's a mess. But we're not here to talk about my.
No, but we could get a company for some skincare. Maybe
we could. Yeah,
that.
Jamie from Eat Clean Bro, one of my guys. Actually, he's going through that battle right now, and I've been DMing him. Yeah, and he's getting it fixed. He looks great. Like,
how do you get rosacea fixed?
Like treatments and stuff, and I guess like going to the spa. I don't know. I'm gonna find out though. So I would like to not have that as much,
Sure, I got you, dude.
So the Phillies are live right now. We're live, and they're up 3-0. It's been a pretty amazing start to their season. Although when you ask the fan base, people are nitpicking, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I mean, this is a town that is very emotional.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned they not logical. They're I mean, if we took an IQ test for the city, Philly would rank very low. Let's just be honest about it. And I think a lot of people are football fans and they judge baseball seasons like they would a football season.
Yeah.
If a football team came out and lost 2 in a row, you'd be like, it's over. This season's done. Baseball's not like that. It is a game of attrition.
Right.
And if you're not in for the marathon, it's not for you. It's
not.
just not for you. If you look at the Nationals in 2019, I think they started 19-45. Jamie, pull up the stats on that. Something like that. It was ridiculous, right? And they ended up winning the World Series. Baseball has the most parity out of any sport. There hasn't been a World Series repeat since 2000 with the Yankees. So cool your jets and enjoy the ride. You can bitch and moan every single day. That's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
But easy on the overreactions.
Yeah, I agree. I remember 2 weeks into the NFL season, he's just not the guy, Jalen Hurts. Now they're like treating him like Michael Jordan, as he should be. He should be. That guy Jalen's amazing for the city as a quarterback, and Philadelphia is lucky to have him. But yeah, they're giving the same treatment, and Bohm is going through it right now. But your team's winning, so you want your team. Like, it would be great for Alec Bohm to figure this out when the Phillies actually need him.
Yeah,
and you're in first place right now. Atlanta's pretty much. I'd be worried if I was Atlanta, but also I'm not counting Atlanta out. Like you just said,
no.
It's a long season, man. We're not even. We're close to 10% done with the season, and people are talking like the season's over. But that is Philly fans, Meanwhile, across the pond, over a couple of bridges, you got the New York Mets, and their fan base is just insanely excited for this year. They had the highest attended opening day homestand they've ever had. Over 100,000 people were there. The weather was miserable. I ended up going to the Sunday game. It was amazing. I saw my boy J Mac Customs out there. He's going to make us a nice, awesome sign for foul back into the stands.
Nice.
I'm excited for it. And there's just so much over there that's exciting. And it's like, dude, they have the same record as the Phillies. And yet I'm hearing people moan and complain about the Phillies. And, Mets don't have a starting pitching. Their starting lineup's amazing. Starting pitching, not so much. So if I'm the Phillies and I'm not happy with my team, but they're breaking even right now with the Mets, I think it's advantage Phillies for the rest of the season.
Phillies have won more games season over the last 6 years.
Mhm.
They won 95 games last year, and people complaining they're running back the same team. Yeah, bro, 95 wins. Yeah, dude. Turn over the baseball card on some of these guys. Alec Bohm stinks. Guy knocks in 100 RBIs a season. Okay. So chill out a little bit. A couple games into the season, everybody wants to overreact. And I get it. That's a part of social media, radio, all this kind of stuff where you gotta, are we in trouble? It's, a part of the radio and social media and all that kind of stuff. So I get it, but just chill out. Chill out a little bit.
Yeah, you got to create drama, right? As speaking of drama, Rory just shanked one like he was one of us. One of us. Yeah, that sucks for him, but it's still in the lead. It looks like they'll find that ball, but it is hilarious how that works too in golf. Like, so it hits off a fan, like all the fans were going to find his ball for him. Imagine if you had that.
I could use that a lot of the time.
Yeah, dude.
I'd have a lot more Pro V1s if I had someone looking for my ball.
Yeah. Shout outs to buymyballs.com, my boys over there. They do some amazing stuff. Graded golf balls, highly rated. You could get a pair of Pro V1s for like $20. It's insane.
Nice.
It's buymyballs.com. Cool dudes.
Are they refurbished?
No, so they're used. They're not refurbished. Refurbished means they get painted and stuff like that. Right. These are washed and sent to you, and they're graded kind of like baseball cards.
Okay, yeah.
So it's pretty dope. So, a top A means pretty much fresh out the box, was hit once,
right,
and lost.
Yeah.
A grade B would be like maybe a hit has a scuff on it, or hit the cart path, or somebody marked it with their marker, or like a Sharpie,
right,
or something like that. And then grade C, D, which I normally do.
Those are the grades I'm familiar with.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Those are typically, you're a little more wear for tear. Maybe it has a little scuff on it.
So there's something for everybody.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
All price ranges.
Yeah, man. How do you feel about baseball being back?
It's the happiest time for me, honestly. Opening day is one of my favorite. It's not a holiday, but it really is.
Yeah, it is.
Me and my brother go to every single opening day. He flew out from Chicago this year. We did that last year. So I'm happy that the weather held up. We got to go to opening day. It was great. It's just great to have baseball back. It's something to watch every night. Baseball is my biggest passion. It's the first thing I ever fell in love with. It's a time in my life, it was the thing I was best at, honestly. Mm-hmm. So I love the game. I love talking it. And it's great to be in a town that has a great team. I don't care what anybody says. Phillies are a great team. You don't have to look that hard. They're very good. So very happy it's back. And it's just gives you something to do every day.
You know what? And I don't think another city does it better than Philadelphia, but the fact that they capitalize on opening night. And thanks to you, I was fortunate enough to go there with some amazing influencers, yourself included, with the Four Walls whiskey guys.
Yes.
And, actually, I should say girls too.
Yeah.
And it was pretty dope. But the Mets don't really do that. I know the Bronx doesn't do it. But opening night with McDonald's, like, that's pretty dope. That shirt, although I lost it.
Oh yeah, you did, yeah. It's nice. I wore it to bed a bunch.
Yeah, I was gonna give it to Brace, like that was it. So sorry, Brace.
Sorry, dude.
Sorry, bro. But yeah, man, it was a vibe, dude. It's like really cool that they capitalize on both opening day and opening night. It's very unique.
Well, they put those LED lights in there as well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So as mentioned before, we are a PJ Whelihans. Is that
Whelihans?
Yeah.
You throw an ING in there.
Yeah. Whelihans. And they have some amazing stuff. This is a potato churro. That's right. I said that. A potato churro. Have you ever had a potato churro?
No, just a regular straight up churro.
Yeah. So this is, they put potato in everything now. It's pretty remarkable. Comes with like this, I don't know. It looks like bacon dip.
It does. Yeah, that's thick. It looks like soup. Alec Bohm just got on base, by the way.
That's sick.
Said Alec Bohm breakout game. He's got great numbers against Michaelis. Hit to the shortstop. Fielded. Unable to make a play at first. Alec Bohm records a hit.
Nice.
Alec Bohm is back.
That's the type of infield hit like that can calm your nerves and break the itch.
You need confidence.
Yeah, but sometimes that's all it takes.
All right, we have thank you so much.
Buffalo chicken cheesesteak egg roll.
Buffalo chicken cheesesteak egg rolls.
It's pretty dope.
This is probably an aioli sauce, which is mayo and some other stuff.
Mm.
Exactly what I thought it would taste like. Delicious.
That's definitely the New Yorker in me that can't pronounce Wellinghan's. Wellihans.
Yeah,
correctly.
You throw an ing in there for some reason.
I normally call it Wheelinghans.
Oh, that's way bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is much better.
My
These
mom,
are good.
My mom calls people dorks.
Dog?
Dorks. Like you're a dork, but she puts a W on their R's.
Mm-hmm.
So we make fun of her for that.
I would too. Good job. Dorks.
Yeah, dude, having baseball back. I've been to 2 games already, one in Queens, one in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a whole different vibe, man. It just feels good. It lets you know, I was telling you earlier, hearing McCarthy's voice in the restaurant reminds me that summer's back, you know, and it's so cool to hear every day. And it's still weird because those Wednesdays where they randomly don't have a game, I'm like jonesing. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I'm settling for a Pirates versus Tigers game.
Yeah.
And I'm like at 12 something. I'm like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
A little fix.
Like, and then the All-Star break, like those 2 or 3 days that these poor players get to be with their families. I'm like, I'm totally jonesing for the season to start back up. And then last night the Mets played at 10 o'clock, and then I was like, all right, I'll watch
this too.
Yeah, I'll watch the Phillies. They start at 8. So like I had like that hour to wait for them, and then I'm like, oh my god, the Phillies just started. The Mets started in 2 hours. I did the most classic thing, dude. I fell asleep probably in the 7th inning. Woke up just to see Pete Alonso hit a home run. Then woke up to see Diaz almost implode in the end, but get the save. And I was like, oh man, it was like I watched the ESPN highlights while I took a nap.
Yeah, when you fall asleep on a plane and you wake up at your destination.
Yo, it's the best.
Like, dude, awesome.
Yeah, my daughter did that coming home from Cancun, and she still swears like we really didn't ever take the flight.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're so lucky. You have no idea how lucky you are.
Yeah.
Another run scored, right?
Yeah, those 10 o'clock games are brutal, dude. Yeah, Trea Turner, base hit, scores Bohm off of that hit that he had earlier against the shortstop. Trea Turner goes base hit to left field. Beautiful. Trea Turner has been awesome this season. They've been bouncing him back and forth with batting leadoff, batting second. Mike, I don't care who bats leadoff. In my opinion, you lead off one time during the game. I don't really care. Rob likes to go left, right, left, right, left, right. And I understand the mentality behind that. Pitcher's got to come in, and it's got to be one or the other. I really don't care that much.
Especially now, you got a DH. Like when it was a pitcher,
right?
Like, yeah, I'd be worried if, like, you know, the pitcher's going to get on base or not on base, or Schwarber's not going to get that opportunity to bat, or bat in a meaningless, like 2 outs, nobody on scenario as a leadoff. But now with the DH in the National League, like, yeah, you're right. They got to lead off once, and just got to keep the train coming. I do like Schwarber not leading off because, I mean, how many solo home runs has that man hit in Philadelphia?
Yeah, he gets on base. And that's what you're looking for. He's not a traditional leadoff hitter, obviously. That drops bombs, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's not a traditional leadoff hitter, but he takes a lot of walks, and that's what you want. Nobody cares about the strikeouts, extra base hits, and getting on base via walks. So that's why he's been a successful leadoff hitter, but yes, you are much more valuable to your team batting later in the lineup.
Yeah.
Because he has that power. Nobody else has that. Besides Bryce Harper, he has the opportunity to change the course of a game in one pitch. You know what I mean? So you'd rather have that with guys on base than leading off.
So I interviewed Lenny Dykstra once, and he told me
that. Was that wild?
It was like, I felt like Howard Stern.
A fever dream.
Bro, it was so bad. I was young in the podcast game. We're talking 2017. First athlete we ever interview. And he was a nutcase, dude. It was right when, I don't know if you remember, he lost his glasses. No, his teeth in a dumpster at a Jersey Mike's.
Oh my God.
That sounds like you're like,
did you ask him about the story?
So he brought it up, and he says
something he's proud of.
Yeah, like there's a reason why he takes out his teeth. It allows him to perform something on somebody better. But also when he eats like a sub like that, he doesn't keep his teeth in. I was like, all right, man, that's weird. So you
Straight
like
gums it.
you just straight gums
A lot of
sub.
tuna, I'm sure.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Very. Would you like the bread toasted? God, no.
Yeah. No.
No. I'm nails, but my teeth aren't. But so he mentioned that he would dig up dirt on umpires.
Mhm.
And like, so he's like, hey, I know you bet on last night's game or whatever. And all of a sudden the strike zone was non-existent, right? So he would pay PIs to investigate umpires. So not only does he, in the same interview, tell us this, he also says he pioneered steroids. Pretty cool thing to claim, you know what I mean? But
when you say pioneer steroids,
like he was Christopher Columbus of steroids. So he went out to a doctor, said, "Yo, doc, how do I get juiced?" And they prescribed him some stuff. And next thing you know, he was the first one on it. Like in his humble opinion, he was a pioneer of it.
Okay,
which is a weird thing to claim, but shout out to him, right? So when I saw this news, I shared it with you because I thought it was true. Like just based off of the stuff that he would find out about umpires and stuff. We now found out it was fake news.
Right.
But there was news circulating on social medias that an umpire essentially was drunk before the game, right? And had a bottle of Jack Daniels or something like
Hennessy,
that.
they said.
Hennessy, wow.
Not drinking before the game.
Yeah. So we started talking off the air about, have you ever had a few at work?
Mm-hmm.
And you said?
I have gotten drunk at work.
Mm-hmm.
I've been drunk at work, gotten high at work, and I've been high at work.
Mm-hmm.
This was all previous days in the early 20s.
Right.
But, in sales and stuff, you go out to lunch.
Heck yeah.
And, it's a beautiful day in the city of Chicago, and you're down by the river, and, beers are flowing. And, they're also, $3. I'll have a couple more.
Right.
So, yeah, I have definitely not always been sober at work. But you know what, Mike? As a creative, I think that is okay. I think some people think better when they've had a couple of drinks. I think you're more creative when you take a little, everybody works different. Obviously, depending on the job.
Right.
You can't be,
doctor, surgeon.
Working at SEPTA, operating trains and buses. But
I'm sure that happens.
Yeah.
More than you would ever want.
You should actually, test some of those guys. But I don't think it's a big deal. Everybody's. Let's be adults here, right? It's like, oh, you had a beer at lunch? Yeah, dude. I'm 36. Leave me alone, okay? I got 3 kids. Yeah, I had a beer at lunch.
In the iHeart realm, there's a lot of events and stuff. So like technically it's late night, but yeah, we're at events and you're having a drink, like you said, with your client or something like that. But prior to that, I worked for PC Richard & Son, and they love to drink. So, dude, we would do this health run.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was, you'd go to Long Island and you'd do a 5K, and after it, they just start popping Heinekens. Like, and they have this huge.
After you were like running,
it makes no sense, right? We all like, hey, everybody, nice and fit, right? And then you'd have like a steak dinner and like just unlimited drinks as much as you wanted, and then we all went back home. Obviously we drank responsibly, like somebody drove us home, but yeah, it was to promote health. But then after it's this mega party, like just almost like an outdoor wedding.
I think that's how you get more people involved, though, Mike. Let's be honest. It's like, do you want to run a 5K? No. You want to run a 5K and then party after? Well, now I might.
Right. So it was just funny. But yeah, during the pandemic, every Sunday in our showroom, we'd have like 6-pack Sundays, and we'd all share, like the 6 of us that were still working during COVID.
Yeah.
We'd share a 6-pack, but outside of that, like not too much for me. But an umpire nowadays, like maybe it would help. You never know. Loosen them up, get the strike zone.
I mean, some of the calls I've seen this season already look like they were drunk, honestly. And that's something I've been promoting for a while, is umpires and being graded or having a term limit, something on there that's keeping these guys honest. And I know that their union is very strong, right?
Yeah.
Just like the players' union, very strong. But something's got to be done, right? Mike, how many issues do we have in the postseason with play call or with calls.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Very few.
Oh yeah,
Like
no, you're right.
postseason.
You're right. Postseason.
Postseason.
Sorry.
And why is it?
Right.
Because we have the best of the best
Yep.
umpires calling those games. You don't see the postseason. Everyone's like, oh my God. We get that in the regular season because we have crappier umpires calling these games. So why don't we raise the standard,
Right.
have there be some kind of checks and balances? Umpire Auditor is a good follow on Twitter or
Yes.
Instagram,
Right.
and they will audit how umpires did. Why don't we do that? If you had
Mhm.
4 weeks of bad play calls, under 80-something%,
Right.
you're going to the minors.
Yeah.
We're calling somebody else up. Why does that not make sense?
In college, the professors would get so mad because the ratemyprofessor.com
Yeah.
was big.
Right.
Yeah, they need to, like, players should be able to rate their umpires. And also, like, a guy like Juan Soto, right? Like, he knows the strike zone better than the umpires.
Yes.
When he doesn't swing, the umpire's so scared to call it a strike. It's
Joey,
hilarious.
Joey Votto had that.
Yeah,
as well. There are
Votto's
some
a vibe.
players where umpires even know, they're like, if he didn't swing, that was not a strike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I think of the ref with Michael Jordan. Okay, Michael, I
Yeah.
believe you.
Right. That was a foul. Was it a foul, Michael?
Was that a foul, Michael?
Okay.
Okay, I believe
And
you,
he
Michael.
trusted him, yeah.
That's so funny. Like, it's just great. But yeah, so like umpires, I've witnessed this. I was at a snack expo, and a minor league umpire was working the snack expo, and he told me, like, yeah, I'm waiting for my call up. Like, I'm 3 in the chain or something. Like, I need 3 more people to, like, retire,
Right.
and then I'll get my call to the big. So it's like, yeah, there's good guys waiting in but yeah, they're grandfathered in. Like, let's just pay them a little bit more, give them maybe an incentive to retire, you know.
There
And
shouldn't
let them
be,
go.
Mike, as you get older, your eyes get worse.
Right.
So there's no reason why 65, 70-year-old men are calling 103-mile-per-hour strikes on the paint
Mhm.
in baseball. There's no excuse for it.
Yeah.
There's plenty of guys that want to be umpires, plenty of good umpires. Like you said, you shouldn't have to wait just because old man River over here is 67 years old and he won't retire.
Now, what did you think about the ball strike challenge during spring training?
I like the human element of baseball.
Okay.
I just want good umpires.
No.
I don't think we need robots. Just get good umpires.
Mm.
What is the point? I don't want to move to robot umpires. I love the human element of baseball. I think that's
Yeah.
what makes baseball special. It's not always fair. We
Right.
try to be just like life. It's not always fair. There's a zone. This is what he's calling today. Just get better umpires.
Yeah.
So the ABS system, I'm kind of like, whatever. They tap to, at least it's fast.
Yeah.
They look and it's quick. So
Yeah. I love the comic relief. Like, if they had a guy like you on the microphone explaining the challenges, it'd
I'm
be
available.
so much better.
I'm
It
available.
would be so much better. Be like, well, yep, you got that wrong again, Bruce. Like, way to go.
Right, yeah.
Like, shocker.
And then have that count against you. Like, oh, it's a
Yeah.
strike against Bruce here.
Well, also, like, yeah, they love to show, like, when a player's in a slump, like, they'll show you, like, different stats and stuff. They should show us when umpires are in a slump. And also, I think with responsibility should come more money. So they should get paid more, too. Yeah, because I guarantee that that's why they stick around for a long time, is because it's not that much money, you know? So if you lose that job, like, really, what are you going to do after that?
Well, yeah, and how awesome is that job? I
Yeah.
just don't appreciate when umpires insert themselves into games, throwing players out. When you try to make yourself a part of the game, you know what a good umpire is? A good umpire, we have no idea that you were ever there. That's a good
Fair.
umpire.
Fair.
Call a game and go home. It's not about you. Nobody is there to see you. Nobody bought a ticket to see you.
That Aaron Boone where he didn't say anything and got tossed.
Yeah, right.
That was
exactly.
great. That was great.
Spring training, JT,
Mhm.
Remulto
Mhm.
puts his hand back, puts it back, he throws. It's just like, what are you doing? Dude?
Yeah.
You can't have your feelings.
Yeah, it can't be that.
Yeah.
And it's not about you, like, you know, unless they're like already giving you stuff before they even start calling the game.
Right.
But yeah, it's weird.
Orion Kirkering on the mound. Sorry, I was just going to give an update. Orion Kirkering on the mound, 2 outs right now. Guy on first and second. It's a 2-2 count to Lars Nootbaar. Ooh, and he rings him
speaking
up
of
and
that,
it's
yeah,
off.
tap on it. That
Well
was
played,
so.
yeah. See, that would be a time where ABS would come into
Yeah.
play and it would have been overturned. But I like that call. Right on the paints it right there. And you know what, Mike? That's what another
Yeah.
example right there. Framing
Yep.
as a catcher.
Hell yeah.
If you do the ABS,
Goes away now.
you are taking that away. So a
Yeah.
catcher who is very good at framing,
Yeah.
you are evening the playing field because I don't have to do it as well.
Yeah. And that's a graded system, and that's why JT got paid so much.
Right.
As well as this.
And he could throw out anyone.
Dude, you won the game the other night based off of that. Yeah, it's just insane, dude. How did you think it? Like, that's the Dodgers being in Philadelphia. Like, I felt like the Phillies did well. They got their lick in, but it just felt like these guys are gonna do it again. They're gonna run the table. Like, I don't know. It for me, like, I love Citizens Bank because it's kind of takes out like it. If you're down 8-2, you can still come back. We saw it with the Alec Bohm, like, I effing hate this place.
Right.
Ends up being the hero of that story. And they were down 4 runs. I actually bet it at the time. I was like, yo, they're going to come back.
Nice.
Either this guy will never put a Phillies uniform on again, or they're going to come back, and this is going to be like a Cinderella story. So, like, it was like plus like 3,000, 4,000. It was insane. I put like $10 down. I celebrated the whole night, man. It was great. I did that opening day. Lindor hit 2 home runs maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Same thing. I ended up taking a piece of the wall from Citi Field from their memorabilia thing home with me with my winnings from FanDuel. It was hilarious. So those are the 2 days that I remember leaving the stadium with what I felt like was a decent sized bag of money.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so what I say by that is, like, that stadium is always fun, always exciting. So for the Dodgers to go in there and kind of feel loose is like, oh, if the Phillies face them and somehow, can take all the home games away, like, obviously the Dodgers are most likely going to get home field advantage. If you win and steal one in LA, you could beat LA, They
proved already that they can hang with LA.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, too, is all the pressure in the world is on the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Fair.
They have over $1 billion invested in that deal. You became a villain.
Yeah.
You are the villain of Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You have all the money. You have all the power. And everyone is out to get you. And that is pressure because you have zero excuses on losing.
Yeah.
They come to Philly. Half of their losses right now, they got 4 losses. Half of them came to the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah.
So I know it's April. I don't care. It is a good thing for your confidence to know, hey, in April, we were with them. And you know what? And we faced some of their best pitching.
Yeah.
When we played them last year, we faced Gavin Stone. We faced who were the other guys' names? I forgot the other pitcher, Gavin Stone and whoever. But everyone's like, yeah, we beat the Dodgers. Like, we didn't see anybody.
No.
We didn't see Glass now. We didn't see Sasaki. We saw them now. We saw their best pitching. Luzardo, lights out. You talk about Kyle Schwarber, base hit up the middle. No outs, top of the 8th. Phillies leading 4-1. We saw Sasaki, saw Glass now. So, yeah, as a team, they have all the pressure in the world on them. And they are beatable. And it goes to the point that I was saying earlier about baseball having the most parity. 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, we saw 2 teams from the wild card. We saw the Rangers and the Diamondbacks in the World Series. 2 wild card teams.
Fair.
Like I said earlier, 2019, the Nationals were out of it early in the season. Come back and win the World Series. So that's a beautiful thing about baseball. That's what I love. It is.
There's parity.
Everybody gets their turn.
Yeah.
It's not like football where you can run the clock out. There's 7 minutes left. We're going to just run and eke the clock out. Everybody gets an at-bat. You have to throw the ball. There's no clock, essentially, the pitch clock. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is why, like, those comebacks can happen because everybody gets their turn.
Yo, speaking of the pitch clock, I love this countdown that the fans have started. I've seen it in Philadelphia and in New York where, like, the pitch clock gets down to 5 seconds and the whole crowd starts. Yeah, it's just an awesome vibe. And maybe you're helping the pitcher too. I was thinking, like, bringing attention to it. This guy's going to hurry up. But then he's probably going to throw dog.
But not if you're off by 2 seconds. Oh. So if it's like 8 seconds and you evil. Say like 4, 3, and then they have to rush when they actually have more time.
Oh, man, that's a whole nother vibe.
Yeah.
And then, you talked about the Dodgers being the evil team and the villain. I want to talk about the other villain team who's always been the pride, the pinstripes with clean shaving. They came out and got an MIT scientist to invent the torpedo bat.
Yeah.
Or perfect the torpedo bat, because now people are like, torpedo bats did exist. I was like, all right. But nobody knew about Thomas Edison perfected the light bulb. So this guy perfected the torpedo bat.
Right.
What are your vibes on it?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother me at all.
Right.
how much innovation has come to the baseball bat itself over the last 100 years, right? They can load it. They can load the weight in the front. Mm-hmm. They can load it in the middle. There's a hollow point. You hollow out the top of the bat. You can keep it full. Mm-hmm. There's really not a lot of innovation for a bat. They looked at where most of these guys are making contact. If you're getting jammed closer, you're just basically bringing the barrel down. I don't see a problem with it. And you know what? Not everybody uses it. It's not like a cheat code where it's like, oh, I'm using the torpedo bat now. Like I can hit. Most of the league doesn't use it. Right. So, and then there's players that have like that puck on the knob of the bat.
Yeah, to bounce off the weight.
Yeah. Does
McNeil has one now.
Jeff McNeil has it. Yeah.
He used to actually just not have a handle. Jeff McNeil decided to quit golf and play baseball, but he went to Monmouth for like a pre-pro like tournament or whatever, and he got annihilated, and he just went back home and picked up a baseball bat, and the rest is that history. But the reason why I won a batting championship is because he sprays the ball around, and it's very much like golf. He goes with the ball. He's since switched his swing and other things, and he brought that puck in, but his original bat was pretty dope. It looked like a driver, like it was hilarious. But I do agree with that. The only issue I have with the torpedo bat is, dude, as baseball makes it like so pure that the pitchers can't do anything with the ball, right? Like they now we're testing them. Spider tack's gone. There's never like a way that the pitcher can elevate it. They're stuck in the 1940s, but yet the batters, they have, they could spray their hands, grip the bat. Like there's all this different stuff, Speaking of the torpedo bat, Lindor the other day, his weight got stuck on his torpedo bat, and Pete had to come over, big meat Pete, and knock it off. So the whole crowd was cheering when Pete got it off, but it was because it was a torpedo bat and the weight's not used.
And the donut on it, right?
The donut got stuck. Yeah, it's a pretty hilarious stuff. I do think it's ironic that it was created for guys like Volpe who were struggling at the plate and getting sawed off. I do think it's unfair to the pitcher that now they have to figure out a new way to saw you off. I do think guys like Max Scherzer will help pitching in general just figure out ways that they could beat the torpedo bat. If you hit it off the end of the bat, oh my God, you'll probably die. So it's like there are some pros and cons. I've warmed up to it. I think it's hilarious. Team that requests purity and all this other stuff kept this a dirty little secret. I also find it funny they finally allowed facial hair, but I have yet to see a Yankee player have facial hair. Have you? Has anybody broke the facial hair barrier?
Devin Williams started growing his hair back.
Did he? Yeah.
Because he shaved it right before he signed, and then he signed, and then they announced that, and he started growing it back.
All right.
I think over the years, not the pride of the Yankees, but they're not old school mentality. They're, the rules and all that.
Yeah,
pretty much like the boomer mentality, right?
It is.
It's a boomer mentality. No hair past your collar, and all that kind of stuff. Where it's just like just play, play the game. I don't care what you look like. Sometimes it benefits you, in my opinion. Brandon Marsh. Brandon Marsh didn't have a beard and long hair. He'd been ran out of the city a long time ago. But because he has a beard and long hair, people love him, and he barks like a dog. People are like, oh yeah, keep Brandon Marsh.
Well, how cool was Johnny Damon until he became a Yankee?
Right.
Yeah. He was a
aura, dude.
He was like Captain Caveman.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a whole different vibe. And then he comes over here and you just look like a sellout. Mets just started, in case anybody's wondering. No score, bottom of the first.
Guarantee nobody here cares, but I'm happy for you, though.
Yeah, what I will share is Oakland, man. It's not Oakland anymore, right? It's just the Athletics. Did you notice that on the everything is ATH now?
Yep.
Yeah. Also, that stadium is has over 19 home runs, maybe 20 as we speak.
Little League, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Little League ballpark. There's no amenities, so they're worried about the DH not being able to keep themselves hot and warm because there's nowhere for them to, practice or there's no cage behind the dugout. So there's so much going on with that, but it was a decent crowd, in my opinion, for what they're doing. But it's Yeah, it's so strange. It felt like they had one like camera angle and they kept showing it and they're like, oh, how cool is this? I was like, it's not that cool, guys. Like, stop doing that.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like I'm watching a minor league game.
Right. Yeah. I mean, anytime it's at a stadium like that, same thing with the Rays. Even though Steinbrenner Stadium is the nicest. Yeah. And it's always funny to me that when the Yankees play the Rays, they're in the away teams.
Yeah, in facilities. Yeah.
When it's like, what, we play here all spring. Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, that shouldn't happen. I mean, you can't do anything about the Rays. That was a blessing in disguise. I don't know if we talked about that, but I mean, that place is a dump.
It is.
It was a dump. Damp, dark,
a
dump. Yeah. So thank you to Hurricane. What was it? Hurricane Henrietta?
Yeah.
I don't remember the name, but thank God it destroyed it.
Because Margarita.
Margarita. It forced your hand to be like, yo, you guys got to update your facilities because they are crap.
Yeah.
So I guess there is, bright light at the blessing in disguise.
Yeah, that would have sucked. Like, also, like, hopefully they figure out a way to renovate it because it sounds like they are going to go back to that stadium.
Yeah.
Which is, like, mind-blowing. But, yeah, hopefully there's amenities they can include, things like that. But, yeah.
The area is nice, dude. Like,
really
St. Pete is nice.
Yeah.
Tampa is nice. And it was a nice spot right off the highway, right by the water. Like, It's not a bad spot, but you need to make it a destination.
No.
We see it with all these other stadiums. Wrigley Field did it. Citi Field's going to do it. Citizens Bank Park has it. St. Louis has it. A destination around the stadium where I can go to a casino. I can go to a hotel. I can have 50 restaurants and bars for me to go hang out at if I don't want to buy a ticket.
No.
Like it makes it a destination for tourists. And that's how you bring people in. This thing in Tampa is it's a dome in the middle of nowhere.
What is your, besides Philadelphia, and I'll include myself with that, what is your favorite go-to stadium and why?
I mean, I'm biased, but Wrigley Field.
Right.
Yeah.
Never been, but, the other day I smiled because somebody was talking about he's going to hit that ball all the way into Sheffield. And I was like, cool. Like,
that's where I lived, on Sheffield Madison.
Uh-huh.
And I lived there, Mike, when it was Wrigleyville.
Okay.
I say that because now it's Wrigley World. I lived in there when it was a neighborhood.
Gotcha.
When I lived in a 3-flat brownstone apartment.
Nice.
40 yards from the stadium, diners, crappy bars, college bars. Neighborhood. You're in a neighborhood, you're like, holy, there's a baseball field here.
Right.
That was Wrigleyville. Now it's corporate.
It's like a
beautiful
theme park, right?
It's a theme park. They got the DK Casino. They got Gallagher Way with the big TV and the nice amenities. And they got $1 billion Zachary Hotel across the street and a smokehouse and all the Dave and Buster's and a bowling alley.
Wow.
All this stuff, but that's a destination. So when people go to Chicago now, they're like, oh, let's go to Wrigley because I can do anything I want to over there.
How long did that take to transfer?
Probably say 4 years, maybe. I think I moved out of there in 2015. I moved out right before they won the World Series.
Okay.
2015, I moved. I left. So they started probably building up after the World Series more so. They got like serious about it.
Okay.
And, they just finished like the DK sports book. What was it, last year? Year before, something like that. So, yeah, it's been going on for a little bit.
The only
it
reason
looks beautiful, though. I'm not trying to talk down about it.
Only reason why I ask is because Stevie Cohen's trying to do that in Queens. The problem is they don't have, it's not a neighborhood, it's chop shops. So it's like they got to get rid of these chop shops. And it was just always funny because regardless if we were at Shea or Citi Field, like we're always worried somebody was going to steal our car.
Right.
And we didn't know exactly where it was in one of those fields.
Yeah.
So, so I was just wondering the timeline because I feel like I'll be 60 by the time, like,
No, they'll get it up. They're gonna have that casino, the hotel. It's gonna be beautiful. I think that's how every successful stadium should be.
I agree.
Alec Bohm up 2-2 count, 2 outs, men on second and third. Phillies up 4-1. This is his redemption right here. Strike 3.
Threw the bat away in frustration. It sucks. There's no in between,
Dude,
right?
I'm rooting so hard for this guy. I want him.
Yeah.
And it is early. Like it's still, if you're a logical person, you understand it's still early, but he has been bad.
Yeah.
There's just no way around it. I'm a defender for him. I say he knocks in 100 RBIs this season.
Yeah.
You don't find that everywhere. He plays a decent third base.
Mm-hmm.
Second most doubles in the NL last year. Ezekiel Tovar is the only one who had more doubles than him in the NL. You don't find that everywhere.
Yeah.
He just got off to a very bad start. He had a bad postseason. Got benched, bad postseason showing, and now it's starting.
Well, and also like talk about the media. Like they hit him right after it was over and like asked if he thinks he's going to be on the team next year. And that was such a douche move. It was just like, for me, like why you got to say that, number one. Number two, there's no, if you trade him, he will end up like a Justin Turner, Carlos Gomez, and just take off like a rocket. And you're going to trade him for nothing. Believe me, I know, as a New York Met fan, I just rattled off two guys that I wish were on my team in their peak. We got Carlos Gomez back when he was pretty much drained of all of his capabilities. But if Alec Bohm goes, like, let's say to Boston or to LA,
they got enough third basemen in Boston.
Yeah, that's
they
fair.
got a lot.
That's fair. Yeah, but like a team like that,
right.
It's gonna haunt you. So it sucks.
What are your options though? This is what everybody presents a problem. I hate people like that, Mike.
Okay,
they present a problem.
Okay,
you're not doing this.
Me.
We need to do this. Okay, well, what's the answer?
Yeah.
What's the solution? Can you provide some value? Mm-hmm. Who else are you going to get to play third base for the Phillies?
Great point.
Who else is coming? Is
Great
Aiden
point.
Miller
from
the minor? Is he ready? Mm-hmm. Are you ready to bring him up?
Yeah.
No? Okay, so what else do you got?
Yeah.
Give me a solution as opposed to just bringing me problems. He stinks. Okay, so give me an answer. Who can we trade him for? Who is available right now that we can acquire?
The Philly fan base, there was a lot of jealousy with Mark Vientos. Like, he was great last year, but I said he's going to hit that sophomore slump. There's tape on him now.
Sure.
And you're seeing it in a small sample size, which is like 12 games, but you're seeing him struggle. Like, you're seeing him struggle, and he's not getting the looks he was. Everybody in Philadelphia thought he was the next coming of like David Wright, Edgardo Alfonso type third baseman where he's going to haunt you forever, right? And now you don't see that. But again, to your point, Brett Beatty is awful. I'd rather have Alec Bohm, right? There's not many third basemen in the entire league that are that elite anymore.
That are driving in 100 runs a season.
Yeah, and playing
Extra
a decent
base
third
hits.
base. Like, I don't, he's not a Gold Glover out there, but he's a tall guy. He's gonna figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you drive in 100 RBIs.
Right.
You are extra base hits merchant. You get ton of doubles. That's what I want from a 3, 4, 5 hitter. And he doesn't strike out. That's what he doesn't get credit for.
Yeah.
He's in elite tier, Mike. Top 8% in strikeouts, or bottom 8%. That means he does not strike out at all.
And again, he's struggling at a time where you don't need him. You see what I'm saying? So you didn't need him to get that base hit right there.
Right.
It would have been great for his confidence.
Sure.
It would have been great for everything else. But you're up 4-1. It's not going to cost you the game.
Until Romano comes in. And Romano is in and just gave up a base hit.
Oh, my God.
This is where we get frisky, dude. 8 innings, Romano.
Oh, my God. Oh.
I hate how everyone says Romano. I don't know if you've noticed that, but they say Romano.
That
They're
sounds like
Jordan
a Northeast.
Romano, and I'm just like, it's Romano.
That sounds like a Northeast Philly.
It
Romano.
bothers me. Yeah, Romano. I'm like, who talks like it? It's not Romano.
I love it.
Everybody loves Raymond Romano.
Oh, man. This has been awesome, man. We are PJ Whelihan.
You did it again.
I'm going to keep doing it.
You said Welling.
Yeah.
Hands.
Well, you do it. Do an intro so we could cut it up in the clip later.
Thank you for joining us at PJ Whelihan's. These tater tots were delicious. We had the potato churros. Loved it. The dipping sauces on point. Buffalo chicken, egg rolls. I would order those every time I come here. Everything's been great. Also, whatever whiskey you guys got behind the bar has been phenomenal.
Hopefully it's 4 walls. That would be a great, nice.
Is it?
Find out next.
I don't know.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back to wrap things up. Maybe have some fan interaction.
Yeah.
And,
Phillies therapy, maybe.
Yeah. So we'll see you at the end of the game. We'll watch the last inning with our friends and family.
Cool.
And, we'll be right
We
back.
got a jersey to raffle off, too.
Yes, we do. Trea Turner, Titty Connect jersey, which is awesome. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. The Phillies just won. Can I get a go Phils from the crowd? Is that a thing? All right, I got a couple. Yeah, we're back. This is Fouled Back into the Stands. My name is Mike. I'm here with Pete, a.k.a. Sheffield Shuffler, a.k.a. the man, a.k.a. Carl Schwarber. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen. If you're not following Sheffield Shuffler, you're missing out. But the one thing I would share is the fact of my man did a Carl Schwarber. First off, he kind of looks like Carl Schwarber. Some people would say Kevin Owens as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
John, the guy from John and K Plus 8.
Okay.
What's his name?
John and K Plus 8. What was that? Is that Mormon show? Was that
it was on TLC. They had like 8 kids. That woman was like a monster.
Wouldn't let him talk.
John, I forgot, from John and K Plus 8.
Oh.
Basically, he's like an Asian dude, and they have 8 kids.
You are the most, like, you could, I said this to you, like, nationality, you could be anything.
Ambiguous, dude.
Yeah, you are.
100%. John Gosling. That's
John
his name.
Gosling.
Not Ryan.
Right. I was gonna say he sounds way more attractive than. I mean, you are an attractive dude.
Thank you.
I guess that guy procreated 8 kids. He must be doing something right.
Oh, I mean, that was all like in vitro and science.
Really?
Oh yeah.
In science.
You know, you can't have 8 at one time. That's crazy. I did 2, and I'm like, I did 2 at once. I thought that was crazy.
And it ran in your family, right?
So it did, yeah. But I'm also got strong swimmers, so that's just something that's just bred in you.
Can you swim?
You can't teach it. I can swim.
I cannot.
You can't swim, really?
I can't swim. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just, like, part of me is like, I feel like what was that, Michael Jackson? Somebody's watching me.
Yeah.
Is that his song? Yeah, I feel awkward doing it. I just don't enjoy it. Water. I love showers. I don't like being in water.
I think it's one of those things that you either learn as a child or
Fair.
you're not going to do it when you're older. Like if you didn't learn how to ride a bike as a kid,
yeah,
are you really at 36 going to be like, you know what? I'm going to try to ride a bike.
I feel like a bike. Yeah, you can.
It is a very important life
break
skill.
a bone, but you can't drown, right? So like swimming wise, and I could get myself out of a body of water. Like I could doggy paddle. So if I fell in the pool, I could get out. But
deep
but
end?
I would hate it. Yeah, I would hate it. I hate every second of being inside a pool. Like it's weird. I don't even like the swim up bars. Like
I love pools.
Yeah, I can't.
Growing up in the Midwest, it was all pools. Like no one went to the beach or anything.
And
it's an important life lesson or not a life lesson, but like a good skill set, right?
No, like for me, like if I fall overboard, like it's over.
Yeah,
like, I'm shark food. So you hit the nail on the head though, because I was in Brooklyn and I was in that awkward stance where like too young in a city to learn how to swim, and then when I left, I was now too old in the suburbs to learn how to swim.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
So like it kind of like I was in that weird paradigm shift.
You're like that old guy in college, right? Where you're like, this guy's 40 years old. Why is he in my math 101 class? And he's like, it's never too late for education. Right? So, like if you're like in those little, I'm in the minnow class.
But what
I'm a guppy.
Yeah, what my daughter Peyton loves to do is introduce me as her dad. And by the way, he can't swim. Like, and only it's pretty messed up, right? Like it's totally messed up. What's not messed up is, dude, Phillies are on a tear, dude. I don't care what anybody says. The Cardinals are a decent team, and they made light work today of them.
Lightweight? Yeah. 4 runs scored with 2 outs. That's been a trend recently with the Phillies, is being productive with 2 outs. Mm-hmm. Saw Trea Turner, JT Realmuto, guys getting on base with 2 outs and then someone knocking them in. Nick Castellanos, 2 doubles today. Big stick Nick has been awesome. It's great to see him. As much as you hate seeing some players get off to a slow start, seeing these other guys that are just red hot right now. Yeah. Schwarber, Castellanos, Harper's been good. Turner has been really good as well. So seeing those guys at the top of your lineup doing good things with 2 outs is really impressive. That's what you want to see.
Speaking of annoyingness, during the beginning and the infancy of a season, people are now placing bets for Kyle Schwarber MVP. It's plus 4,000 on most platforms, and I just laugh at that stuff. Like, if you're basing that off of the last 14 days, that's a terrible bet. If you truly believe that's what's going to happen, I mean, Ohtani, unless he gets injured, it's his reward. It's his award, right?
Like, he doesn't play the field, so he can hit. We've seen him hit 40-something home runs.
Right,
it doesn't matter.
Hit 50.
You could if he hit 50 home runs, he's still not winning MVP. It doesn't matter. It's just not.
And then on the other side, you're already hearing MVP, Pete Alonso.
Oh, I think for me,
you are the MVP, buddy. That's why we're here for you. This is your day, just like every day is a Pete day.
MV3, Bryce Harper could get his third one.
He could. I think it's Ohtani. Barring like any major setback or anything like that. It's just, I mean, dude, it sucks that he's in the NL now because, like, yeah, the AL will definitely have multiple MVP players, and it looks like that's going to be our guy for the next decade.
Mike, I want to know: do you think he's going to pitch this season? If so, when do you think it's going to happen? Because I'm going to tell you real quick my opinion. I don't think he comes back to pitch
ever. You don't think he ever comes back to pitch, or this season?
If he does come back to pitch, I think it's going to be for a very short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say short period, I mean like a season and a half.
Yeah,
just for the reason you invested $1 billion into this guy. If he's not on the field, you're losing money.
Yeah.
You're not selling tickets. You're not selling merch. I mean, you need him to play. You are so deep in your rotation. You could have an 8-man rotation. Honestly, the Dodgers could have an 8-man rotation.
Yeah.
So why would I rush him back or even come back? He's already had 2 surgeries on his elbow. 2 surgeries on his elbow. Why would I want him to come back and pitch and risk the slightest risk for him to miss time? To me, that doesn't make any sense.
It's a 3-letter word: ego.
You think he has it?
Yeah, dude, are you kidding me? Like, his ego is through the roof.
You think
He's so egotistical that he bet on the game and then blamed his interpreter.
Yeah, that's something completely different, but I agree with that. The biggest conspiracy ever. Ipe, dude. Poor Ipe. It was close to a year ago when all this was going down.
Absolutely nuts. People like I
release the documents.
Yeah,
Trump.
Everybody you talk to, like on the sports side, or even a couple sports agents, were like, that could happen. Like, yeah, you could lose that much money and you wouldn't know. Like, I don't know, man. Like, so that's the equivalent of like if $4 comes out of my account, I notice, this is $1 million. Like, this guy, like, and also like that there's no lie, but like that lady on the other end, like the operator didn't go, maybe this isn't Shohei Ohtani.
Right. Yeah.
like, so.
But also, Mike, he came to a different country. Not proficient in the language.
Mm-hmm.
You brought a guy that you trust.
Yeah.
To take care of this kind of stuff. I have to focus on hitting the baseball.
Yeah.
I have to focus on pitching. I'm not checking my Chase bank account to see if I got charged $350 because I withdrew from a non-Chase ATM.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Me and you got those problems. I don't think Ohtani does. I do like to believe that he was really betting because it's more fun to believe that.
It is way more
fun to believe that he's just a degenerate gambler. Maybe it surfaces one day. And he paid off eBay to go to prison for a while.
It'd be great.
But there's also the other side where I can completely see it making sense. If I went to Japan, I don't speak the language, and I have an interpreter or whatever, and he's handling some finances. I don't know.
It's like his Jordan myth, right? Where like people are like, oh, Jordan's dad passed away because of his gambling problems and all that craziness that goes with that. And he was gonna get suspended. That's why he left to play baseball for a year to avoid that.
Yep.
So really, it was a quiet suspension or whatever. Like, it all makes sense in a vacuum, but then like, yeah, you never know. But it is fun to think and debate, and I do think Ohtani does like to risk it for the biscuit. I mean, and he wants the pitch. So I do think ego will start to play into it. I think you're right. Maybe 2 or 3 championships away from them allowing him to do it.
Why do you think he has an ego? I think it's hard for me to determine that because I don't listen to him talk.
Yeah,
he's not in front of a microphone being like, I am the best. That was more of a Borat. Sorry. I am the greatest. But you know what I mean? Like, we don't hear him like a Juan Soto who's in front of the mic saying like, I'm the greatest hitter of all time, which we've heard him say.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to think ego. If I think ego, I would say more Juan Soto than a lot of people.
I think it's the smile. I think it's he put me in I want to be there with the game on the line. There's nobody who could do it better than me. I think, because if even with the Angels, like maybe, I don't know if somebody could run the report. and look and see report and see if maybe if he wasn't pitching, maybe he would have been more successful. Like, who knows? But what I do know is they had Mike Trout and Ohtani, and they did nothing. They did nothing, and shout outs to Mike Trout. Feel bad for the dude. His career is like kind of taking that Ken Griffey injury approach,
I'm not a fan of Mike Trout, I'll be honest. It's probably one of the more most people wouldn't agree with it. I'm just not a fan of Mike Trout.
It's funny. I pulled the Mike Trout card that was like $200, and I was excited. And Peyton goes, "You got a Sean Bryce card." And It does kind of look like him. So it was pretty funny. But yeah, man, Phil's win. Mets are playing right now. There's no score at the Athletic Stadium in a remote location that we don't want to talk about in LA. No, I'm just kidding. But dude, it's this has been fun, man. I really enjoy this. It's I want to shout out PJ Whelihan.
There you go. Yeah,
I did it. They have some amazing spring into happy hour specials throughout the week. Monday through Friday from 4 to 6. Enjoy domestic drafts for $3. Athletic brews, non-alcoholics for $4.
For all of you with an issue.
House wine, $5. And for people without an issue, crushes and vodka seltzers for $6. Also enjoy $5 boneless wings and $10 boneless wings. Snack size or share size, depending on the price. On Mondays, Yinglings are $4. You got the PJ Cooper Lager for $4 on Tuesdays. Coors Light, $3. Bud Light, $3 Wednesday and Thursday. Blue Moon, $4. And that's on Friday. Michelob Ultra, $3. Not a fan of it. Miller Lite, $3. Miller Highlights, $3 every day from 4 to 6.
If you're looking for domestic beers at an affordable price,
America,
PJ Whelihan has got you covered. $3 to $4 for a beer.
Yeah, you said the whiskey was good here, right?
It was.
Yeah, I wonder what it is.
Yeah, I think once you have 4 or 5 of them,
It's
start tasting real good.
That's great. Yeah. We got a prize to give away, but we got some more topics to talk about. The one that I wanted to talk about mostly was around alcohol and these beers that we saw right here.
Okay.
So there was a report that came out with the top stadiums with beer consumption. And our Philadelphia Phillies didn't do too well on said report.
Right.
My feelings towards that is the fact that before they go into the stadium, you guys are getting annihilated. There's Xfinity. I mean, there's tailgates for days. You guys tailgate games that shouldn't be tailgated, which is awesome. That's why the stadium's top tier, in my humble opinion. We were there and there was people tailgating. There's Xfinity's always packed before and after. But are you shocked by this report?
Not shocked for the same reasons. Is what they're counting the drinks you get inside the stadium, right?
Stadium sales.
Look at the options. There's $36 beer bats. There's they got IPAs. They got a bunch of stuff. No, dude, we are drinking in the parking lot. We're going to Xfinity beforehand, and I'm getting my little fix before I head into the stadium and have to pay astronomical prices for alcohol. It's just being alcoholically responsible, honestly. Fiscally and alcoholically responsible. It's irresponsible for you to go in there on an empty stomach with no alcohol in your system. If you're trying to catch a buzz, if you're not, that's totally fine too. But you can also bring food into the stadium. I don't know if you guys know that, but Wawa is allowed into the stadium. You can go to Wawa, pick up a sandwich, and bring it into the stadium, which is really cool. I appreciate that.
When did that start?
I'm not sure when it started, but it is in effect.
Because that used to be we used to do that all the time, and then they stopped us from doing it. Like you could bring like a hoagie. Yeah, it's at Shea Stadium. Like you could bring. My dad would pack hoagies.
Yeah,
like we go to ShopRite, Wawa, whatever, pack some hoagies. Yeah, Italian hoagies, and we'd sit there and eat them. And like we never left our seats because we had this cooler with food. Like it was great.
Yeah, and Wilpons probably didn't like that. They saw their bottom line and they were like, "We need to sell more hoagies."
That $6 could have been ours.
Yeah.
$5 footlongs, get them out of here.
Run the reports.
The other thing is, for me, you're right. I went to obviously when I went with you, we didn't pay for anything. We just had 4 walls of whiskey until we were hit the floor. What did you say?
Yeah.
4 walls will make you hit the floor. It was a great line.
Nobody laughed.
No, because they were all in consumption.
Sure.
Yeah, I watched the replay.
All right.
I will cut it up. I'll cut it up.
Fair enough.
I'll do a John Boy breakdown of it. But I'm dead serious because I felt, dude, I laughed, but I realized I didn't partake in that shot.
Right. You were
So
filming.
I was the only one. I was laughing because you're my guy. I'm gonna always laugh.
Right.
You know, and you got to support. Like, all right, big time.
Here we go.
But yo, what I was gonna say is, when I was at Citi Field, it was $32, and I was drinking. My buddy was doing non-alcoholic, so and they're smaller, and it was still $32 every time we went up there. And we weren't getting the baseball bad; we were getting tiny ass beers,
right?
And it was 32 freaking bucks. And I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely stunned by the amount of money I was spending every time I had to get up. So yeah, with me, I'm like, yeah, if I could have done this in the parking lot or prior to the game. And that was the other problem. So the only restaurant that's outside the stadium is also Met owned, and it's the same price. So they're like, yeah, you may as well just go in, bro.
Right.
Like, yeah. So we paid $32 for our first drink that we thought was outside, but it wasn't. It was inside.
Yeah, Xfinity doesn't have any like crazy deals or anything. You're still paying decent amount for drinks.
I think it's a little less though, right? No,
I haven't ran the numbers, but it's, bank account said it's pretty close.
Yeah.
They all bleed together.
Yeah.
It's like Xfinity, Aramark, all those
I
transactions.
love the argument is that Philly is intelligent alcoholics. Like that's why they're so low on that report.
Yeah, they're not intelligent in most categories.
Just alcohol.
But yeah, I would give them that at least. It's good to have a nice tailgating atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like, that's fun.
There's 3 cities that I think translate into Philadelphia pretty well. Chicago, obviously, with you. Detroit with Buster. Detroit also with Frankie Darcel, who's on WDAS. But yeah, what was there any shocking things when you came into Philly that you're just like, oh, I'm not used to that at all?
Booing your team. I'll be honest with you, dude. Coming from Chicago, 45,000 people will come out to Wrigley Field every single day and watch the Cubs lose 11-3 and be happy about it. And you could say that's stupid, that's loser mentality, but Cubs have been, labeled as lovable losers since 1908.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. That's fine. But Chicago I've rarely heard Cubs fans boo their players on the field. It's always, we'll get them tomorrow. We'll go get them, because you're having a great time. I think it's just the mentality. I'll be honest with you, Mike. I think a lot of people here in Philly are just miserable people. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I think a lot of them are just miserable people.
Yeah.
They enjoy being miserable. Listen to the call when they call in. Yeah, this guy stinks. That's. I mean, they're just miserable people, in my opinion. A lot of them are, not all of them, but I think Chicago's has just a lot of different people, and maybe that's that Midwest hospitality that you don't get out here. I've noticed that. Obviously, you saw yesterday when I was at Best Buy, you don't get the same kind of treatment as you do in the Midwest, but, it's all right. It's not bad. Just different kind of people. Everyone's raised differently.
Yeah, I agree with that. My funniest thing is when you try to give them something for free, like a giveaway or like get them to sign up for a thing, they're always like waiting for the sky to fall or the catch. Like they don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
They don't even trust their own family. And like you said, too, the issue that I've noticed in Philadelphia is like there's no shame in their game. Like they'll come out in PJs.
Right.
Like a lot of Northeast Philly people wear pajamas.
Overalls. Shout out Foco.
Well, yeah. I mean, the way you rock them is cool, and Chase you and guys like that. But it's such a unique city in the fact that they're so passionate and they celebrate like no other. But yeah, like I said, the expectations gotta calm down, because like you're seeing it with the Sixers right now. Chef said it earlier, there's a lot of parity in baseball. The Phillies aren't going to be as hot forever, so enjoy the damn ride. Like, why are you miserable? Why are you miserable? Let Philly Rob be miserable. I love that. It's so great. Also, like, success. You notice how great he looks now compared to when he started. Philly Rob, like, it just shows like once you get into that kind of a groove, you start looking better, everything's better. So hopefully we'll start looking better.
I'll be honest with you, Mike, and I'm not trying to crap on Philly Rob here, but I think the guy's really benefited from a talented roster.
Oh, of course.
He's been in baseball. I think he was with the Yankees for 20 years. Never once was offered a managerial position.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Mm.
You can speculate all you want, but he's been in baseball for almost 3 decades, 20 years with the Yankees, never offered a managerial position. Girardi gets fired, and he steps in. Phillies turn it around and do what they do. Not saying he's bad by any means. I question a lot of the decisions he makes, but you're going to do that with any kind of manager. But I think honestly, he really benefits from a talented roster more than him being some kind of genius.
I will say I don't think he makes a lot of the decisions. I don't think the lineup is his choice. I don't think, I think they went with more of a yes man, and he's willing to do that. And the fans love him. So it's like, whatever, they'll ride with that. So I think that's a lot of it. Like, I enjoyed Terry Collins. Like, I was bummed he was no longer there. Buck was a fan favorite. He was manager of the year 1 year, gone the next year. Such is his life. And then, of course, the Mets are games away from the World Series next year. Like, tell me if you heard that, if you're Buck Showalter. So, like, it's just been, there's not many. For me, with all the analytics and stuff like that, you need a guy that has the locker room. Joe Girardi notoriously loses it, like out of nowhere, right? And Joe Girardi, sorry, to all these Joes that played in New York, they're a bunch of losers. But Girardi always loses the locker room quickly, and I think Billy Robb was just that option where he kind of could get it away. The coaching staff in general with the Phillies is pretty elite.
Yeah, Caleb Cotham, the pitching coach, gets a lot of high praise from pitchers that are here now, pitchers that have left. He really works with the starting staff, with the bullpen, breaking down analysis. I had Matt Strom on my podcast, and he talked about Caleb Cotham, how they work together with game plans before each game, how they're going to attack each pitcher. Obviously, a lot of pitching coaches do that, but there's just a lot of high praise from him, so it's great to have him on the staff as well. And I know he makes an impact on a lot of these pitchers, especially when you have young pitchers like an Orion Kirkring, who just broke out. In 2022 he pitched 3 games in the majors and then was thrown into the postseason, the biggest game of his life. And it's just good to have those kind of guys on your staff.
Look, we got the Masters going on in front of us right now, and it made me think, like, what the best course you ever played on? Do you have one? No.
I couldn't even. I mean, I play at Moorestown Field Club all the time.
Okay.
With my father-in-law and my wife's cousin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like a 9-hole course.
Okay.
I don't know, the one we went to in Pennsylvania. I didn't play it, but that one, Oaks, right? Remember?
Nice.
Oaks was nice. I went to the U.S. Open last year in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to play, but we played there, just not at obviously the course. It was a course around there.
Yeah,
it was a nice course. I'm not good enough to play at some expensive courses. But if anybody needs somebody at a private course, please reach out. I will happily jump on.
Well, I'll let you know. Our boss has one, Jeff Moore. He's got Legacy, which is nearby, actually.
Oh,
and then,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then also he does the Swinging and Dinging Open there, so we'll make sure we have a foursome there. But also I do the Trump International, in North Jersey.
Yeah, it's right off the north one. There's one right off the highway not too far away.
Yeah. Dude, it's got a 19th hole. And so it's just like a lake, and it's got a green in there with a bridge.
Nice.
So much fun. And a lot of gambling happens on that hole. But yeah, those are my 2. I'm playing Magnolia at Disney, and apparently it's got this, it's called Grumpy's Revenge or something. And it's it's 4 holes from I want to say the 14th hole to the 17th or something like that, where it's just very hard, difficult. And everybody leaves grumpy the 7th or whatever, a Dopey, Grumpy, all those guys.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. I'm playing next week, but watching the Masters, it's just amazing how these guys could just freaking do this. And, I'll be chunking it up for sure. Not good at golf for sure. Look, I want to give away this jersey real quick. I think these 4 gentlemen, get them on. Anybody else wants to
hop on? Go over to the mic.
Yeah. So we're going to give away a Trea Turner signed jersey, and it's a participation jersey. So you have to participate. So if you want this Trea Turner jersey, there's a microphone right over there, and we're going to ask you some questions. It's not trivia. It's just who we like the best. So it's kind of like American Idol podcast style. Yeah, we're gonna talk. Just have a conversation.
We want to do like a Phillies therapy.
Yeah.
Your concerns. What upsets you about this team? What makes you mad? Just a little therapy session.
Yeah.
All right. Who do we have here?
Yes.
So my name is Dom.
Hello, Dom.
Hi,
Nice to
Dom.
meet you.
Yeah. All right. So I guess I'll just kind of start with Phillies. So Bohm, Marsh, Real Muto have kind of struggled this year. You got the bullpen has been a little bit shaky this year. What are your guys' kind of biggest? Where do you think the Phillies are weakest this year? And what's kind of their biggest weakness?
Yeah, right now I think it's just the bottom of the order when you're looking at either it's Rojas or Marsh. I think it's really the bottom of the order. I'm not that concerned about the bullpen yet. I think it's still too early. Romano came in today, decent job cleaning up. You still can trust Alvarado. You still can trust Strom, Orion Kirkring. You know, he had a couple bad pitches and outings before this. He's another guy that you trust. I think you got three arms there, 7, 8, 9 that you can trust. Even Jose Ruiz, I trust him. So I really don't think it's the bullpen. I think it's still too early to jump on because the bullpen kind of ebbs and flows. For me, it's really the bottom of the order, not producing runs. That would be my biggest concern. I always said if Brandon Marsh didn't have a beard and long hair, he would have been ran out of this city a long time ago. But the guy barks like a dog and has got a long beard and hair, so everybody loves him.
Yeah, my biggest concern is the fan base. You guys are way too sensitive. Like your club requires you to have their back. You saw it with Trea Turner with the turnaround, stuff like that. I think we've gotten a little spoiled, you know. So it's 162 games. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose a bunch of them, right? You're gonna have slumps, a month that you want to forget, things like that. You got to stick with your team. Alec Bohm is one of the best third basemen in the game. I get it. It stinks right now. There's not many good third base. You know, not much good talent at third base. It's very hard to find one. He's been very good for this team, and I think he deserves a little bit of patience.
97 RBIs the last 2 seasons, dude. It's hard to find that. Second most doubles in baseball last year after Ezekiel Tovar. Guys, he gets a lot of extra base hits. He also doesn't strike out. Top 8% in baseball. Doesn't strike out. That's what you want to see from a 3-4 hitter. So I'm not concerned with Bohm yet. It sucks. Bad postseason last year. Bad start to this season, but it's going to turn around. Look at the back of the baseball card, I always say.
Yeah, everybody's just got to chill out a little bit. Go Phils, root them on, you know, and be thankful he's slumping when you don't need him, right? 9 wins. I do something weird. I want to know if you do this. So I always look for the first team to 10 and then the next team to 20, like during this time of the season. So we just had our first 10-game winner. The Mets are 9-4. The Phillies are 9-5. And who was it that just – San Diego was
Dodgers
the first.
Probably have
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, so it's actually, ironically, it's San Diego, San Fran, and the Dodgers all in double digits already.
Dodgers also played 2 games before everybody else did, too.
Yeah, so that don't count. But they have 11 wins. You know, the Padres are on top, 11-3. Dodgers 11-4. Giants are 10-3. So like I look at that and I look how much, you know, and then I'm like, get to 20. You know, get to 30. And then after that, I start looking at how double digits over 500.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. I don't know. That's how I gauge a baseball season. I just wasn't sure if that was just me being weird.
Yeah. I mean, I look at run differential a lot, too. How many you're giving up versus how many you're scoring.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair. Well, thanks, man.
Yeah, actually, I do have another question.
Nice.
If you guys want.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So if, let's say, you know, season ends for the Phillies, you know, they first round exit, maybe second round exit. You know, would you blow it up or not blow it up? What kind of moves would you make? Do you think Rob Thompson's gone at the end of the year if kind of he makes maybe a bad decision in the bullpen like he previously has in the past couple years? So where do you think the Phillies go next year if they happen to lose in the first round or second round?
Yeah, I think the Phillies make moves before the trade deadline. I think they're going to bolster up the bullpen before they go into the postseason. If something were to happen, there's no way you can blow it up. You got money already invested in Harper. You got money invested in Turner. Schwarber's in a walk year. JT's not JT. So you got some guys that are options. Castellanos in 2 years. you have a young farm system. You got Aiden Miller ready to come up.
Yep.
He's going to be, he's controllable. Once he comes up, you're going to have him under team control for a while. Justin Crawford. So we got young guys. I don't think you blow it up. You got your cornerstones. You locked up Wheeler, Nola, Sanchez just had an extension. So I don't think you blow it up, but I do think Rob maybe, dude. Like I was talking to him before we were out here. Rob Thompson is a beneficiary of a very good ball
I agree.
club.
I agree.
So I'm not saying he stinks, but I'm not saying he's a genius because he is a beneficiary of a very good baseball team.
But a lot of these baseball GMs love a guy like Rob, where it's a yes sir kind of
players coach. Yep.
Yeah, he's strictly there to be like HR. Like he's there to motivate the team. He's there to make sure the GM's happy, the ownership's happy, and the players are happy. That's pretty much it. Like and like you said, in-game decisions he gets to make, but he's surrounded by a bunch of great coaches.
One of the best rosters in baseball, for sure.
Yeah. What I think happens is the front office starts to listen to Harper a little bit more. Bryce Harper wanted Pete Alonso on the team. And could you imagine if Pete Alonso was on this team right now? Selfishly, also, I think it was because Harper wanted to go back in the outfield.
Yeah.
But, Pete Alonso is...
He's been crushing the ball this year.
It's sick, dude. And that would have been the Barkley version of the Phillies.
Yeah. I would much rather have Bryce Harper at first base and have them invest in an outfielder. I think for the longevity of his career, having Harper at first base is going to be way better for his health.
Agreed.
We don't need him in right field. He already tore his UCL. We saw what he breaks his thumb against the Padres. I would rather have him play in first base if you're already invested $330 million in him.
All right,
that's just me.
So I would rate our guest like a 6.7 on a scale.
Oh wow,
yeah, pretty good.
That's a Portnoy scale.
We'll give him a 6.9.
Well, because like you
nice.
can't you can't like he's the first, right? So we got to create the curve. So maybe somebody would be behind that.
I don't know. There's nobody else. I would go into sevens at least.
Right now,
7 6 at least. He had multiple questions. They were well thought out.
Okay, this is why we debate these things. So
front runner in my opinion.
He's going to get a 7.2.
Okay,
and we could go from there because you said 7.6. I said 6.7. Cut it in the middle. It's like 7.2.
Fair enough.
So you got a 7.2, sir. If anybody is able to take you out of the running, then you will not be receiving the Trea Turner jersey. They will be.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
But right now you're the front runner.
The man.
All right, Dom. So again, for people that just joined us, if you want to hop on the microphone for your chance to win a signed Trea Turner jersey, all you got to do is say some things on the mic for us. And you want to try? Ask your dad. All right, hop on. You want to? It's right there. All right.
Hello, Peter.
Hey, how's it going?
State your name.
My name is Joe.
Hi, Joe.
I'm Dom's brother.
Nice.
What is the Phillies' biggest need at the trade deadline?
Relief pitching.
Yeah.
You got to go in the postseason with an elite bullpen, in my opinion. When you got Sanchez, when you got Wheeler giving up 1 run in 6 innings, 7 innings, you got to have 4 or 5 guys that you can trust. And I do think they go out and get somebody before the trade deadline to add to that bullpen. You have to. You can't go. I mean, they're not going to go into the postseason with their current bullpen, in my opinion. So I think before the trade deadline,
why'd they let go of Hoffman?
Because he wanted $40 million a year, and he already had imaging on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
The Orioles passed on him. The Braves passed on him because they did not like the damage in his shoulder, and Phillies weren't willing to listen. The Phillies are already top 4 in payroll. So if anybody complains about the Phillies not spending money, you're dumb, okay? Because the Phillies do spend money. They spend a lot of money, 4th most in baseball. So if they don't want Jeff Hoffman, I love Jeff Hoffman. I'll be honest with you. But they didn't like the imaging in his shoulder. He wanted too much money, and it's a shame.
He's the Blue Jays closer now. I mean,
he is.
Yeah,
wow.
I feel like it was because of that one game in New York that he gave up. 3-4 runs, game 3 or 4.
If you're judging him based off of one game, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, in the playoffs they do that though, right? Like Beltran got paid off his playoff performance, right?
Sure.
So there's been players that do get demoted or promoted through the playoffs. But what I would say about this is it's too early. God forbid, Harper goes down, then you're looking for a guy to replace that. Like, so be thankful we're right now the Phillies are so healthy that we're focusing on a relief pitcher or getting an extra arm. So that's where I'm at. Like it's too close to call. Like guys that are irreplaceable. JT Realmuto behind that plate. I mean, you don't beat the Dodgers without his arm. It's insane. And he's bleeding. He was bleeding. And he's still throwing these dudes out.
Also, people don't remember that Weston Wilson is still rehabbing and coming back too, dude. Weston Wilson.
Don't give me Weston Wilson.
Weston Wilson, over 800 OPS. I mean, Weston Wilson he mashes the ball. Not saying he's an all-star by any means necessary, but if you want to move off of Kepler, you want to do whatever. I mean, Weston Wilson is a great option that you have coming back. Cody Clemens.
What about any of the young guys? Bohm, any of those guys that we could trade to get something good?
I don't think.
I mean, Bohm's trade value right now is at an all-time
Every year
low.
we add a little piece. At some point, I feel like we have to do something big.
Yeah, I still think
every year it's a little piece here, a little piece there.
Yeah.
It's nothing serious, and it's been the same results. I feel like.
I mean, 95 wins is a good same result.
Yeah, it's a great problem to have.
I would love to have that repeat again.
I go back to the years where you're just begging for postseason. Right? We're very spoiled right now. Red October is supposed to not be a yearly holiday.
A given. Right?
It's never. And now with the wild card and the expansion of the playoffs, maybe it will be a given. So I understand that. But it's also a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot. So it's hard. I don't think the Mets were better than the Phillies and they knocked them out of the playoffs, So it's I didn't think that, but they were the hot team.
But you said the Mets?
Yeah.
I mean, but your owner is said he'll do whatever it takes.
Of course, yeah. I mean, they've been smart about it though, too, right? So he traded Scherzer away for a ton of prospects. They rebuilt their farm system, and in a year that they were not in a rebuild, they were in a reconstruction. That's what
reload.
We're saying, a reload. They end up in a few games away from the World Series. So, that's crazy. But there's situations where you saw them dance around with Pete Alonso and almost lose them. So they spent a ton on Soto, a ton, and so far it's paid off. Lindor's seeing it looks like a beach ball every time he's up there because they're just throwing meatball after meatball because they want to try to get Lindor out because they don't want to have to pitch this Soto with Lindor on the bases. And then, the same thing. Pete's adding protection on the lineup. So, but with that said, they got no starting pitching. So they're spending all that money and they didn't spread it out evenly the way the Phillies have. So in my argument, your owner is spending almost as much, if not close. I think it's a $40 million difference and you're doing it smart. So. And I think they would do it again if they had to. If they had to spend, they would. So it's crazy that you guys have Trea Turner and Harper, and the Mets have Soto, and they all three of them were on the Nats, and
right.
And
hitting coach Kevin Long too.
Yeah, Kevin Long's been around. He was with the Mets, Yankees, Phillies. That guy is a saint. Anybody, if he's on your team, chances are you're going to playoffs. Yeah. He's been in more playoff games than anybody in the history of baseball for sure. All right. Well, thank you.
Nice job, Joe.
I'll let you rank the brothers, Dom and first Joe. What? Thanks, Joe.
6'9".
6'9". All right. So you keep your rank. Does anybody else want to join the Trea Turner conversation to win a jersey?
Signed jersey.
Trea Turner. All right. Well, we're going to wrap things up here and give away our jersey to our champ, unless somebody else wants to talk. But in the meantime, we'll recap the entire day. One, please tip your waiters and waitresses. Is that still a thing, or is it just bar staff? What do you say?
Waitresses.
Yeah. Because notice actor and they got rid of actress. They're all just actors now.
Oh. I know flight attendants and stewardess. They got rid of stewardess.
They did. They just now they're all flight attendants.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm not mad at it. I mean, it makes sense. It makes life easier. But yeah, so we are at PJ Whelihan's.
Damn.
Whelihan's.
There you
go. Whelihan's. Dude, next time we're here, I'll get it right. I promise.
I've been drinking more than you have.
Yo, I'm not a good pronunciator. I cringe at some of the baseball players. The one year the Mets had Beatty, that took me a while. I had to create a song that she's a lady. I would say
whoa,
It's
she's
Brett
a baby.
Yeah. So that's how I
Tom
got
Jones,
that.
dude.
One year we had Pilar and VR. So
Yes.
So VR and Pilar, but they're like one you don't say the L's, the other one you do, and it was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very, very difficult.
Good problems to have.
Yeah, champagne problems, as my boss would say.
Yeah.
Speaking, that's the only thing we didn't drink today was champagne.
Champagne. We might go to the champagne room after this.
How do you rank PJ Whelihan's
atmosphere? 8. This is a nice room. They got open windows, so you don't feel like you're in a dungy bar the entire time. It's a family atmosphere. Honestly, there's a lot of families, a lot of children, people having some lunch. Got the Masters on, just finished a Phil's game, hockey, horse racing, a lot of stuff to gamble on. Very good family atmosphere. PJ Whelihan's, we obviously appreciate you having us. So yeah, I mean, it's a good spot. I'm close to being a regular here.
Yeah, dude, I love the windows, right? Because I feel like we're outside, but not dealing with the terrible weather that's outside. So
Correct.
we did not lose a day.
Correct.
We didn't give the day away.
Right.
Yeah, man. So this has been awesome. I appreciate you taking this journey with me. Tune in to our socials to find out where we'll be next.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we're traveling men.
We are.
I was born. Oh, that's a rambling man. But yeah, we are traveling around.
We are ramblers too.
Yeah, if you want us at your bar, your establishment, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to bring this podcast to your establishment. Do some giveaways, be interactive with the crowd, talk Phillies, talk Mets, talk baseball brunch, filed back into the stands.
Yeah. Now you messed up.
I did, yeah.
You have had
Took
some
me
whiskey.
all day.
So yeah, this has been awesome. I appreciate you, Chef, and we'll continue. So everybody tune in, follow us on socials, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.